All right, can you see me? Can you see me? All right, all right. Can you see me, everyone? Can you see me? Can you see me? All right. Well, if no one sees me right now, then I just got live now, so and let any of you wait for me, so that's okay, I guess, you know. So I'm going to talk about how you can tell that raptors are really just seals, penguins, and even just eagles built in just one. So let me explain. Raptors have teeth of seals, so they eat mostly fish, and I'll just let you to go to. I'll just let you go to certain pages if the computer will let me anyway. So here's what we can do now. I'll go to a page where let's say we go to Utah. Uh, let's go to skeleton. Oops. Here we go. So yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's look at the teeth. Let's really look at the teeth and just say, wow, that's kind of a interesting one. So let's see. This is not an accurate description, actually, is it? So their teeth are, let's see, they go outward and inward, sucking the fish in. So what does that mean? Well, let's see. Actually, let's look. One of the teeth are not right. So one of the teeth is of a bird that their teeth sucks the fish in and grabs the fish in. And I think the other one is uneven, but I think it's the same thing. I hope so. So what do I mean by their teeth are really just fish teeth? Well, if we look at seals, they kind of have the same thing. So I'm going to give you two distinct characteristics of URL. So got it right though. Yeah, seal. Hey, they eat fish, and well, if you look at that just right, I mean, they eat mainly fish, so they eat fish, and they eat things like shark and let's see. I don't know if that's why I want to see it. Because they all have the same type of idea, I guess. The teeth of the penguin are kind of the same way. So let's see. So he's showing his teeth. Where the heck is the image? I'm sorry. I might have a hard time looking at this. Come on, just show, please. Goody. We have troubles, aren't we? All right. We're golden. So penguins have teeth to eat fish. And yes, they are basically the same way of the raptor. And now let's look at seal. I don't know. Seals are different. But for one thing, penguins have teeth all over their mouth to eat the fish, and seals have a different type of teeth to eat anything. So, are they all the same? Let's hope not. Yeah, they're kind of the same. Actually, the sea lion is more. Yeah, they are definitely interesting. So, hmm. So they're definitely not like seals, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, definitely a good check right now. So why do the mouth go inward? Because they eat fish in the way they want to. So sea lions and seals are definitely fish eaters, but Catan fish are tasty and they go inward, and they have a big tooth right there, and they all have grinding teeth and they all have sharp teeth at the front. So let's see what the Utah Raptor actually says. So, oops. Let's see. They're kind of the same with teeth going outward and going inward. So what did they go after again? For my main course, my main idea is that they really have teeth that go outward and they go inward. So they eat to tear things apart and go inward. That's cool. So why are they, let's say, important? Because the teeth actually either suck the fish in or tear the meat apart for anything. So in any type of way, like a seal should be scary, but they're not. Like a raptor should be scary, but they're not. Why is that? Well, the only thing that's scary is a shark is because of their behavior. Now, the shark have many rows of teeth and they eat anything. These guys just suck anything in that they have to eat, like fish. They eat seals or anything like that. They don't go after big meals. But now, however, they do protect themselves with the claws, which is their main claw right there to actually either grab the fish or protect themselves. Their hands or their hand claws are just meant to really defend themselves and really to dance. Now I see something that's missing. Actually, I don't. So what's going on with their? You know, if you can see this, their number one, their male parts. They're as long as the bone itself, so they go past the bone and next to front of the bone. So let me show you the picture so you can actually see what I mean. Oops. So if I can show you this. There. Did I really do that? So how this works is they they literally have a method of living. So they are very, let's say, seal-like. They're very seal-like and they smell like seals. Let's just say that for an hour right now. And I don't know about the lower jaw. I don't know if that's really correct or not. Because their lower jaw might be the same size. Remember, the raptors have teeth that are going inward and one that's going outward. But I don't know if that's correct. Now, everything might be different or the same or not the same, depending on what's going on. Right now, let's go by the mouth. Because what they're eating is really, really what their teeth is all about. Seals eat fish in a very efficient way. They're smart. So they eat a ton of fish, while these guys eat bigger fish. they drag the fish with them and they eat a lot of fish. And their muscles, well, obviously their muscles are going to be very strong, so they're going to be having very thick legs to carry the fish along. Either that, their talons actually kill the big fish or the dinosaur fish so that they can kill and eat right there on the spot. And I would say that they can hold their breath for a very long time. Obviously, they're very good swimmers. They can hold their breath for a very long time. Now, their eye sockets, they do have an interesting eye socket. Why do they have a skull? Well, why do they have bones around their eyes? Well, what's going on with that? Well, my idea of what's going on is that they're only limited in certain ranges. So they can't see in front of them, nor can they see behind them. Like horses, really. And they spook easily. So my idea of this would be if you're on your side, then you're good. If you're in front of them, then they can barely see you or can't see you. But if you surprise them, then you're not happy. Just like a seal would not be happy. Anything surprised is not happy. So, their tail is very long, but do they have feathers or do they not have feathers? This tail tells me a lot. That tail is meant for swimming. And their bodies are like bird-like, so in that type of way, they have either connecting the female male. It's like either they're like birds, and the females literally attach to the males, like birds do in today's time, or the males have very long you-know-whats. And the vertebrae of their necks is correct in my opinion by, and then there's also the rib cage, which is, I don't know if that's really correct. Might be, actually, it kind of looks correct, but kind of looks kind of weird. Then their bottom of the rib cage must be some sort of snake. Unless that's like some sort of bird path, so it's probably some sort of bird, yeah. Like I said, they're more like penguins than anything else. And they're also more like hawks than anything else, and they still eat like seals, wherever they are. But they don't really eat like seals, they eat bigger things. Now off to another type of animal. So let's go somewhere else. So let's say we have an accurate depiction of a dragon. So let's see, which one has the same? Yeah, that would be cool. So we do not know exactly what a dragon skeleton's like, but that's not crocodile. So I made a fun dragon skeleton. I guess that's cool, but let's go to comparing, I guess. So whatever it is, so they have very limited teeth when compare animations. So let's go somewhere else. No, let's not go there. They don't have to tails. It's actually quite accurate. That's actually quite accurate. I did. Okay, whatever. So I'm not going to give you information about this, but yeah, I would say Yeah, so they would have the thing like that. Yeah, that sounds right. So their teeth are meant for literally grounding rock out here. So if they can ground rock, they can ground anything. They're actually pretty scary. One of those things that they have is like a lung sac that actually burns things. So they can breathe fire, as I assume, just like a electric eel can electrocute the water. So can they burn themselves? Yeah, they can. Not too easily because they don't want to. They just point the um, mouth away from their body to burn things. But if they burn too close to their wings, then they can burn themselves. Yeah, they burn each other too. So what do they do when they eat? Their teeth are, let's say, not exactly up to date, but they can go through rock, they can go through armor, they can go through anything. So they have quite the biting force. Not to mention, they can literally, let's just say, you know, eat anything. So that includes bone, that includes everything. So why are they not like raptors if you can see a skeleton of a dragon? Well, for one thing, the raptors were a little bit different. They didn't have quite the large teeth as a dragon. And if the dragons existed, which I hope they did, because people made tales of them, they were always talking about dragons and whatever or not. Why? And if they had teeth, and why? If they had anything of existence, if I hope they again. So, what would they eat? Anything. So, dragons are feared creatures because they eat a lot of like they eat a lot of things like cows, horses, sheep, anything that people would own. And judging by some of the art style that they have, it's not really 100% accurate, but this one looks like it's very accurate. One of them looks like it has very large teeth, which would probably be a little too much. They will probably have sharper than crocodile, but a little smaller. But raptors, again, they just eat fish, so they have to have anything that will chop a fish in half. So, and why do I say that raptors eat fish instead of, let's say, well, eating anything else? Let's look at the raptor again because I have it on file. Again, their teeth are not fearsome as a dragon, so I'm going to look up dragon skeleton. Yeah, they're not quite as big as a dragon, obviously. So in their small teeth, they wouldn't even nip. They wouldn't even nip a cow. They wouldn't even nip a cow. They would eat anything underwater, and they would have to eat anything fishy above water. So they would eat small things. They would eat fish and big fish underwater. That's what they're meant for, eating fish underwater. And also, let's just say it that way. They're kind of like sharks that have this teeth pointing outward. So they're kind of like sharks, but not like that. And with their small mouths, with their small teeth, they don't break it that easily. But however, if they do break, they would actually be replaced by whatever. But I think their teeth are very strong in needle wise, so not exactly needles, but they're very small and they're very, let's say, good for fish. So anything that nips at fish and bites at fish, it's like, yeah, let's say. So let's look at a pelican. No, that's not. That's not. Heron. Heron teeth. Yeah, because they eat a lot of fish. Let's see. Images. I'm into images. Because they have very small teeth and they're just meant for eating a lot of little things of fish. There they are. There they are. I like that. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Well, as you can say, their teeth are very small, very small. They eat fish, and their teeth are very small. So, if I could say that these raptors eat like seals and herons, they eat like penguins and herons and seals a little bit, anything like a eagle too. So, yeah, let's see if this is good enough. What? Oh, they didn't paint a teeth of theirs, so that sucks. I need an actual photo of it. Anywho, yeah. So they do have teeth. They really do have teeth. So, and they're very small and serrated teeth. So, let's look at the YouTube Raptor again. And instead of blue heron for failure's sake, let's look at the fish knife. Very cool stuff. As you can definitely see, one of the fish knives is very serrated, so it cuts your bone. Oh, please don't tell me. One of the fish knives cuts your bone, one of them doesn't. And if you can see the one that is serrated, I'll show you the one that is very serrated. You can see if you can compare it to a raptor to see why they match. So, all right. Control C. All right. Control V. And then you can see why this matches very much with these teeth that not only go backwards, but they bend up a little bit. So that's important key right there. The fish knife is very efficient for cutting fish bone, and so is the Utahraptor for cutting the fish bone. They may not be good for, let's say, nipping at any type of big animal or any type of or Tyrannosaurus Rex. They can only protect themselves with the claws, which you're not really good at, by the way. So, and their teeth are mainly good for eating fish off the bone. Like I keep saying, it's not going to change anything. So right now I'm going to exile here. What? Oh dear. Oh, good. And I'm going to exile here too. And now kind of exile here too. All right. Walrus, seal. So seals lying is made for grounded fish, whatever it is. So like just gulp them, whatever it is. These are big enough, but apparently raptors are not. Now let's look at some gorillas and see why you might think, well, good. We might be wrong about what the raptors ate. That's the key point. We're wrong. But gorillas, if someone studied the gorillas from the future and they said, oh, they're extinct and this is the first skeleton we ever found, and they eat meat, and they're wrong about it, I have an example for this. Oops. So, what do gorillas eat? Oops. They grind things. That's right. Now, let's look at the molars. They're meant for herbivores. Yes, they are meant for herbivores. They don't eat meat at all. They do not eat meat. However, they do bite. And the key word, people say, oh, they're carnivores by their teeth. Except, look at the details. Look at the very fine details. They're not carnivores. They just bite for defense mechanisms. You think, oh, raptors just defend themselves with the claws, or they just eat humans. Well, they don't, actually. You can just see it by the URL that they don't eat people, they mainly eat fish. Gorillas, if you don't mind looking that up, have teeth to protect themselves, but teeth to eat vegetables and mainly tree grass. They eat grass and any type of vegetable they can eat, and sometimes fruit. Don't believe me? We have the same type of teeth back there than we do in the front, except we do eat meat. And why is that? The only reason is, well, we mainly eat meat because of the flood. It was what we were bound to do. But that's just off topic. That's just off topic. If you want to look me up a little more further into that type of thing, then, that'll be by far an okay thing to do because that's what my main channel is all about, It really does talk about that, but, let's not talk about that right now, okay? All right. So sea lion teeth. Yeah, let's get out of there. So what else do I want to talk about? Well, that's kind of the thing that I want to talk about, but what else do I want to talk about? Well, snakes eat mice. They eat small rodents. Some of them eat humans. Want to see a snake teeth? Let's see, not tattoo, but... Oh, come on. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. All right. We have a python, anaconda type of thing. Good deal. Skull where the snake literally eats big flesh. It's full of them. And now you're saying, oh, they're just the size of the raptor. Let's look at this. Let's look at the raptor again. Because obviously I see a big no-no. Go deal with this one. Yep. Like I said, too small. And obviously this one's big enough to eat flesh outside of the water. I'm sorry. These raptors were mainly birds. And these birds would eat fish. And these snakes would eat land animals. If you want to see a bird that has large teeth, well, penguins do, but they eat fish. And if there's anything, these type of animals have teeth that eat anything. So what does this snake eat? What do gorillas eat? I already told you that what gorillas eat, and penguins eat fish too, because fish, if you don't believe it or not, have really tough skin, weak insides. They're kind of slippery, and their teeth, not their bones, are very tough. But snakes, they'll just eat anything outside the water because they only swim outside the water. Let's look at a water snake's teeth because that will be very fascinating. So, oops. Aha! Guys, we look at that. They eat anything in the water, guys. They really do. And why do we see the snake teeth literally being like, well, raptor's teeth? Let's look at the snake fangs. Because remember, I'm bringing comparison to snake teeth and raptor's teeth. This may even surprise you that, well, people would think all snakes are just land animals, because it's just a study of snakes. If there was no such thing as snakes, people would say this water snake was literally, well, unfortunately, a scary thing that does not eat fish. Let's compare this to another thing. Again, I want to emphasize on the fact that raptors are not scary things. They're not at all scary things. So let's just do this. Compare that to that, if you can. And just look at this right here. Yeah, they're literally the same thing. I would not be surprised if they only ate fish. I'm sorry. These birds are just, fish eaters. Now, let's compare that to a Tyrannosaurus rex that eats everything and anything. So, let's look at that Tyrannosaurus rex, shall we? Because I don't believe in evolution. I believe in God literally keeping the order. I'm sorry if I would say this, not evolution, but taking parts and bringing it to another part. So it's skeleton. Oops. Not skeleton, skull. Sorry about distraction. So we seem to have a difference here. A very big difference here. A very good picture of us, like a teeth that really haven't been broken. Where is it? That tooth. Those teeth look very, very, let's say, oh my goodness. Well, some of them are missing, unfortunately. But that's what they're meant for, missing teeth. These Tyrannosaurus rex, they're really meant to lose teeth and grow them automatically. They're really meant for eating things with a lot of pressure. So why is that? They eat their bone. They eat big animals. Yes, let's emphasize on the fact that they eat a lot of big animals. And raptors, well, they eat eggs and fish. Well, yeah, that's what they eat. Compared to a raptor, which is, let's say, not at all scary. Although the poisonous snake is scary because they are poisonous, but this is not. These things, they mainly eat anything that is what they're able to eat. again, my comment of wisdom, I believe, would be you can tell by the diet of the creature about what they have for teeth. Their teeth is what they have for diet. To the tooth, to the diet. The diet is exact. The tooth is exactly what their diet is. If you wanted to know what I mean, their tooth or their teeth, that is exactly the shape of what their diet is. They eat exactly what their teeth have to eat. Not what they want to eat, but what their teeth have to eat. And in comparison to that, which I'm no longer going to do, and let's just do that. So let's just say these raptors say what they have to say. So they eat exactly what they have to eat. So anyway, it doesn't mean that they behave that way. It just means that they are, behaving to eat fish, big fish, and claw the big fish and eat that, and then return to the surface. So they can be a little bit of tyranny, if you can say that. They can be a little bit cruel. They can be a little bit mean, like the Blue Jays, but not exactly how Blue Jays are cruel. But they're kind of trashy. These raptors. Like, what do I mean by trashy? Well, they kind of smell like fish, in kind of a trashy way. But these raptors are literally, well, they leave a lot of trash. They literally leave a lot of trash around in the water. They don't care what they eat in the trash. They don't care what they leave in the trash in the water. They don't care what they leave in the water. They just trash up the waters and even use the waters as a toilet. They don't care. They'll even destroy the water source for any other creature to basically suffocate it and eat it. They're kind of cruel that way, but they're not too cruel towards us. Nope. They just love fish. They love it. They love it like herons. They'll just eat any type of fish. They don't care if they die from eating fish. They just love it. They just mass produce and eat fish. That's all they'll do. Now to the felines and the canines. They're the same. Now you don't have to look it up if you don't want to. So, all right. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's you. So like feline. What do I want to get rid of? What do I want to get rid of so I can get better results? Where a snake? I got rid of where a snake. It's not involved. And now let's look up because I'm not involved with skulls, I'm not really involved with that. But you'll see what I mean when you look at cougars and wolves. So wolves, yeah, they're native always. They're always native. Cool. Cougar. Oh, I get it. However, I do believe the skull is how the animal behaves. So how does this behave? Well, I know how they behave. Easy peasy. Oops. So cougars, let's see, the teeth describes how they attack. They bite at the throat and they kill them that way. Easy. Because I've seen it before. And now the molars. Let's look at the molars. This one's easy. Oops. That's not okay. Let's not do that again. That's really comparing stuff is horrible for this stuff. Not accurate enough. Let's see. Their teeth, their molars are kind of like the seals, actually. They don't eat fish, but they come for the kill. So how do they come for the kill exactly? They come after fast creatures and they kill them. Now, sadly, I must say that, guys, you're not gonna believe this, but raptors, they're not exactly that fast on the land. They're very fast in the ocean. They're very fast in the ocean. They're faster than seals, obviously. But on the land, they may have powerful legs, but they can only go so fast. These guys, however, they go really fast and they go incredibly fast. These cougars and cheetahs and lions, they're, well, fast enough to kill and rip flesh off of bone from the neck and to the back to suffocate you, anything. And not like that not link, what was it? Not cougar, I don't know, I'm blanking on what that was. You're not gonna tell me what it is. One's with large teeth, should be. Ego. They'll go back to me. But the cats with the very large teeth have gone extinct. Well, their teeth have been too big, but these are, let's just say, wow. Whatever spray is going around. Dang, spray. Hey, that spray. You can tell I'm allergic to that spray, by the way. So they come for the kill anyway. So they eat things like antelopes. They eat cows, bulls, buffalo, anything like zebras, horses, things like that. Cats eat chickens and birds and mice, all that stuff. Whatever fits their size is what they eat. Except if you're like a Transformers Rex, then you're not. If you're like a wolf, then only deer and not even bears fit your size. Mainly deer fit their size because anything their size would be their meat source. So yeah. But raptors, well, they eat anything smaller than them, and herons, they eat anything smaller than them because they have small teeth. So the teeth size matter because if anything has large teeth, then you're danger. If they have small teeth and they're not venomous, you're safe. Good rule of thumb right there. Now let's look at the great wolf skull. As compared to cougar. And yeah, I mean, there are a few differences, but they're exactly the same thing. They eat deer, they eat cattle, they eat anything that is pertaining to cats. Same with the dogs. Matter of fact, dogs are kind of similar to cats, what they eat, aren't they? The same type of stomach, but they don't stomach in the junk like the dogs do. So dogs eat less of, things like cats do. And the cats are more clean than the dogs, obviously, and the dogs are much more dirty. But cats, they're the same type of number 2. as dogs. Dogs have some, they bite the neck sometimes. The dogs bite the neck, but they're very clumsy in that way. Cats are not. Felines are not. So if you're wondering, why is that? Why should I be worried about the wolves and dogs and all that instead of the cats? Well, obviously, cats and dogs are the same type of scare that they should have because they have the same teeth. Cats are more scary than dogs because of their teeth. Now, I have the same YouTube Raptor out there than I used to have, so their teeth say everything about them. The fact that they eat they eat what their teeth say to eat. That's just the word of mouth. But that's the word of wisdom. They eat what their teeth says to eat. If they go outside that line, then they have body problems. Raptors, yes, they have small teeth. And the funny thing is, they pretty darn well know that they can only eat a limited quality of meat. So quantity is number as in how many type of species they can eat. So let's say if it's some sort of dinosaur under the sea, they eat it. So they're mainly, you didn't know about this, but they're mainly like penguins when they breathe underwater. But they breathe underwater better. So obviously they may have gotten the snake out of that teeth. Obviously that's cool. So about the claws on their face, the claws, their hand claws. So their hand claws, they can grab the fish, but not as well as they should. They're kind of clumsy. So what they do have is they have the claws to grab onto the fish and eat it. Is to go to the land sometimes. And they have their toe claws to defend themselves or catch the fish. And then they can grab it by their hands and eat the fish that way. Or they can snap at the fish and go to the ground. But they're kind of, let's just say, picky about the ground. So they eat by their hands, like raccoons do. All right. I did not know I was going to do this, but let's look at raccoon paws. What do you know? They grab with their claws. They really do grab with their claws. That should not be a thing. You guys suck. Well, here goes everything. Yeah. So if you can look at it carefully, the claws are like the raptor's claws. And mainly they just grab things with the claws. That's all they do is grab things with the claws. And they mainly grab fish. Yeah. So the fish are slippery. They grab them with their claws, and obviously, by design, you would think that the poor atheist would understand that what they're doing is making the public scared by a fish-eating Utahraptor or anything like that. However, the case is not true. They're just animals. Raptors are just animals that have an instinct to eat fish, eat anything that scurries along the ground. They hide in plain. They hide in plain sight. Not only that, well, if you understand well, they go out by night and hunt by night. but they don't hunt big mammals. But they are camouflaged with the swamp, the water, and the ocean and the sand. You say, how do they do that? I have a plan for that. Look at Blue's colors. She's gray like the night sky. She's blue like the water. She's perfect for hunting. I'm sorry, but these raptors might just be like Blue in Jurassic World. You think, well, why Blue? Where have these people's ideas got to be? They said, well, we'll make the money by making them scary. He said, oh, I like making stories about scary dinosaurs and just folklore, but still movements. Raptors cannot see still movements in front of them, but if they tilt their head, they can still see you. And they always tilt their heads to see what's around them. And if they see anything bigger than them, they'll just flee. They'll just flee. They're just like, well, they're just like birds. And if they ever get territorial, they won't flee. But anything bigger than them, like a squirrel, like a raccoon, like a possum, even foxes and wolves will flee to us. It's exactly what the raptor does to Tyrannosaurus Rex. They flee. But they see us. They're curious. They'll be like a ostrich in some ways, be territorial, but they'll be curious. Don't mind them. They're just like fish, big fish. That's all they can do is like be curious, hunt, and reproduce like mad crazy. Because one of them will go get dragged down by one of those creatures. Those creatures that are in the sea. These are not that smart. You may think, oh, they're pretty darn smart creatures, are they? Well, if they're dumb enough to get dragged down to the ocean by just a dumb big fish, then they do reproduce like mad. Males have a long thing. The females have an extension that goes in them. Whoever reproduces, they reproduce like mad crazy. They love reproducing. Whatever they reproduce, they reproduce. Whatever they eat, whatever they eat. Whatever their curiosity is, they just look at things and say, oh, that's cool. You know? There's also a raptor out there that's not that dumb. They're very emotional. But they're pretty few and far between. But these raptors, I think the Raptor, they have a complex to study by hunting. If it's too big, obviously, some of them will not think straight. But let's just say, well, they think straight. They immediately get the smaller fish and drag it out of the water. But if they see a shark, they'll just fly. They'll just swim away. Because obviously, they're as fast as a shark and they'll go out of the water. Sharks can get out of the water. They have a limited amount of way that to go by land. If they go by land by a stick, they go to the stick. You know? They go to somewhere else. And that's how, in some sort of way, they did go across the lands is by some sort of log, and they ended up on the other side of some sort of island or some sort of other continent or maybe even Australia. But back then, before there was ever oceans that are vast and big, well, they were everywhere. They're totally everywhere. And that's how some of them ended up on the other islands. Remember, their teeth are very telling. Their teeth are very telling. You know, their teeth tell you if they're harmful or not. Because what their teeth say, what you should know. If they show their teeth, they may show weakness. Some of them show real strength. You should worry that you might not be making it. And protect yourself with any weapon. Scare them off. Noise is the one thing that makes a difference. And raptors, well, not easily frightened. However, they do love to explore. So those raptors are not territorial, I believe. I don't know. But their paw prints are very telling. They're very protective of themselves. They protect themselves at any cost. Remember what they do. Remember what they always do. And remember what they eat. Alright, I'll be done, okay? Bye.